Hello and welcome to our November Conversations with Chrissy. My name is Whitney and I am joined by MDOT MBA Administrator Chrissy Nizer.
Hi Whitney, great to be with you today.
Great to see you, Chrissy. Thanksgiving is just around the corner.
It is hard to believe the year's flown by, hasn't it?
For sure, and we have a lot of great updates to share with you today. But first we want to get into an important operational update that's really helping a lot of our customers be able to obtain all their documents and get that real ID. Talk about that, Chrissy.
We're really excited about this new partnership we have with the Maryland Department of Health. We were able to get legislation passed a few years ago to allow our employees to issue birth certificates in the instance where somebody comes in to get that driver's license or ID card, or maybe you're coming to renew and you don't have the documents that you need for real ID, as you said. We're actually able, in that case, to issue you a birth certificate. Right now it's at 2 branch offices, Baltimore City and Essex, and so we're really excited how customers have, taken to that ability to get your birth certificate right there. We don't charge any fee in addition to the charge for the birth certificate. Obviously, it is a multiple step process. You would go to one agent and complete that birth certificate transaction. Once that's finished, then you would come over and complete your driver's license or ID card transaction. But the benefit is you get to walk out with your birth certificate as well as that driver's license or ID card taken care of. So we talk a lot about one-stop shop. In prior months, we've talked about some of the agencies that we partner with, and really it's in that same theme. We want to make sure we're providing that great premier customer service for our residents, and we don't want you to have to leave and come back if you don't have all the documents you need. So we're excited that so far about 1,000 customers have taken advantage of this functionality. Again, only at those 2 branch offices, Baltimore City and Essex today, but we are looking at expanding and working with the Department of Health so that even more Maryland residents can benefit from this great process.
Yeah, it sounds like a great partnership. And of course, the Real ID deadline, the federal deadline, has been pushed back to May 3rd, 2023. But believe it or not, 83% of Marylanders are already Real ID compliant.
Yeah, big thank you to Maryland residents. We started this campaign several years ago. We didn't have quite that number of residents compliant, but really the reaction of Maryland residents has been tremendous. We're so appreciative that they've taken the time to find their documents, come in and present them to us. So in fact, we're at 83% compliant despite the fact the deadline's been pushed. Gives more Marylanders the opportunity to present those documents when they're coming in for their normal renewal period. So we're confident that we'll be very high in terms of the number of Maryland residents as we do approach that deadline in 2023.
And if you still need to come in, now you can take advantage of that birth certificate printing service.
That's right, and lots of great tools online. Check out our online document guide if you do need to bring in documents. A lot of great information there as well.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to our next topic, November is kind of a bittersweet time for us here at MDOT MBA. Annually, we honor Marylanders who have lost their lives too soon involved in drunk driving crashes. And this year will be the 5th year that Governor Hogan is joining us for the annual Maryland Remember ceremony.
Yeah, we really appreciate the governor's support. The fact that he takes time out of his busy schedule, now 5 years in a row, to attend Maryland Remember just shows his commitment and what a priority it is for him. I know being there, how much he's been touched by the families, and it's hard not to. I mean, many of them hold a dear place in my heart as well, and that's really what motivates us to continue the fight, to reach 0 fatalities. We don't want other families to suffer the same pain that these families have suffered, and so it's about remembering those that have been lost, but also about trying to prevent those losses to happen again. And so last year we were unable to host our event in person, and that obviously generally includes a procession of the families where they share images of the loved one that they've lost. So we're thankful to have the governor join us. We did do a virtual event and we got great feedback from the families. I think they appreciated that despite the circumstances, we were able to move forward, continue the tradition, and really make the honor and the memory still very true.
Let's take a look at a clip from last year's event and some of the remarks that Governor Hogan had to share.
Our administration remains fully committed to doing everything in our power to save lives and to prevent future tragedy. There is never a good reason to get behind the wheel of a car and drive impaired. And working together, we all can make a difference, and we can saved lives.
Just demonstrates in Maryland, our top leadership is really dedicated to reducing and eliminating impaired driving. To have such support at such high level is really much appreciated, I know, by those families. This year, we are looking forward to getting together in person again. There will be a limit on the number of people that can attend, but the fact that we can be in person, it's a very exciting development. We will have the ability to participate virtually as well if either you're not comfortable or unable to come and join us. So really the best of both worlds. We get to see those families who we've come to know over the years and really share with them. As you said, this important time of year, the holidays are a tough time when you've lost somebody, right? It's that empty seat at the table, unfortunately. And memories can be bittersweet, right? It's so wonderful to remember that great impact they had, but also very sad that they're not here for, the current things that are happening. And so we just want to hold those families up. And again, we always have a victim speaker, and that's the most powerful part of the event, I think, because they share their story. And I truly believe that by sharing their story, they can change somebody's behavior. Somebody hearing about what happened may think twice when they get behind the wheel. We always say, make that plan to be a sober driver, and that's what the event's really all about. It's about reminding each and every one of us it's not worth it. Be prepared, plan ahead, and make sure you're sober every time you get behind the wheel.
Sure, and as you briefly mentioned, Chrissy, this time of year, hosting this event around the holidays, it's not by chance. This is a very critical time of year for impaired driving crashes.
That's right. It is one of the highest times of the year that we do see impaired driving crashes. We know it is a time people are out celebrating, right? Sure. Traditionally, it's a time we get together with family and friends we might not have seen throughout the rest of the year, and even with the pandemic, that's the case, right? Many folks haven't been able to be together, and so we do anticipate people will be traveling this year, and we just want that message to be part of it. We want you to have a good time. We want you to see your friends and see your family, but we also want you to be safe on the roadways and also to make sure that you're not impacting anyone else. So again, make that plan, be the sober driver.
For sure. Now, what are some other tips, Chrissy, that you would share with folks as they venture out this holiday season?
So I would say impairment is a contributing factor to about a third of the crashes and serious injuries each year, and so that's why we obviously stress that message a lot, but also just a reminder to be the slow down driver. During the pandemic especially, we've seen the rate of speed on the highways significantly higher. As more vehicles are coming back on the roadway, we're not seeing a reduction in that speed, and obviously traveling at higher rates of speed, you're more likely to, if you're involved in a crash, have serious injuries or a fatality, and so please be that slow down driver. Also be the look twice driver. Look out for our pedestrians, especially this time of year when it is dark. We might not be able to see, they might not be as visible to us, so look out for them, please. There are vulnerable roadway users. We're all a pedestrian at one point or another, so we'll want to look out for each other. Be the move over driver. Again, being aware of what's going on, whether it's a pedestrian, whether it's a bicycle, whether it's a tow truck driver on the side of a road, or the emergency responder, law enforcement. I always say they are out there day and night, no matter what the weather condition is. They're out there protecting us, right? Yes. And when we need them, they're there. If something happens, they come, they assist us. The least we can do is really look out for them. And so please remember, if you see somebody on the side of the road, move over. If it's safe to do so, slow down. Make sure you keep them safe, please, so they can return home to their family and loved ones.
Absolutely. And you touched on a critical point, Chrissy, that at some point all of us are pedestrians, and if you happen to have a roadside emergency while you're traveling, you become a pedestrian too the moment you step out of your vehicle.
That's a great point. We've seen a lot of fatalities on the roadways.
Sure.
With people, and whether a crash happens or maybe your vehicle breaks down, obviously we want you to be prepared ahead of time, especially if you're traveling a long way to see friends or family. Sure. But if something does happen, please stay in the vehicle, stay belted, because if a vehicle does strike you when you're on the side of the road, you're much more protected, just as you would be in any other circumstance if you're belted. If you do, for whatever reason, need to get out of the car, make sure you move as far away from the vehicle. If there is an embankment or a rail that you can stand behind, obviously that's more protection for you. But unfortunately, we've seen a lot of crashes where individuals are outside the car, considered a pedestrian at that point, and unfortunately, just as if you're walking along the side of the road, you don't have that protection. And so we're just reminding everybody, I know during an emergency it can be a bit stressful and you might not be thinking about it, and that's why we're sharing the message now, and hopefully people will remember, if that happens to them, exactly what to do.
And the Maryland Highway Safety Office also recently put out a great video that kind of breaks down, what you should do and the things to remember if you're involved in a roadside emergency. Let's take a look at a clip from that video.
Your car breaks down or you're in a crash. Here's how to stay as safe as possible. While every roadside emergency is different, you should always prepare ahead, assess the situation, use good judgment, and stay vigilant. If you can, exit the roadway or move your car as far away from travel lanes as possible, even on a flat tire. Staying on the road puts you and your passengers in immediate danger. If you are unable to move your car, remain in your vehicle, activate your hazard lights, face forward, and stay buckled. If you must leave your car, evaluate the situation around you, exit it, and quickly move away to a protected area, such as behind a guardrail or embankment. If you stay near your car and it is hit by another vehicle, you could be seriously injured or killed. For assistance in any roadside emergency, call pound 77 on interstates and toll facilities or call 911. Be the driver who saves lives. Learn more at zerodeathsmd.gov/roadside safety.
And that video is just one of several that have come out as part of the Be the Driver campaign. They're all really informational. If you want to check those out, then visit the Maryland Highway Safety Office on their website, zerodeathsmd.gov, or follow them on Facebook and Twitter at zerodeathsmd. And for all things MVA, you can visit our website, that's mva.maryland.gov. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Chrissy, for being here.
Thank you. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.